Alright.
Oh, Ezio Auditore! I didn't expect to see you again. What with all that's happened. Ah, where are my manners? Welcome back.
Aww.
Now, how can I be of service?
I was hoping you could repair something of mine.
Of course! Come, this way! Che pasticcio. Tutto il santo giorno che cerco. Let me clear a space. Alright, let's see it. Fascinating. I don't know, Ezio. Despite its age, the construction is rather advanced. I've never seen anything quite like it. I'm afraid there's not much I can do without the original plans. Mi dispiace. Wait.
What are you doing?
The contents of this page are encrypted, but if my theory is correct, based on these sketches, it may very well...
It may very well what?
Please, sit.
Leonardo,
Shh.
Just let him cook. Let him cook, Ezio.
Remarkable. If we transpose the letters and then select every third...
Let him cook.
There, it's finished.
Huh? What's finished?
The blade. I managed to decode that parchment of yours. It showed me exactly what to do. Now all that's left is to remove your ring finger.
Really?
I'm sorry, but this is how it must be done. The blade is designed to ensure the commitment of whoever wields it.
Bene. Do it quickly.
I was only having fun, Ezio. Though the blade once required a sacrifice, it's been modified. You can keep your finger.
Incredible.
Yes, it is. Tell me, do you have other pages like this?
I'm sorry. Only the one.
Listen, if you ever do happen across another one of these, please, bring it to me.
You have my word. And thank you for fixing this.
By order of the Florentine Guard! Open this door!
Just a moment. Wait here.
Are you Leonardo da Vinci?
See, how may I be of service?
I need you to answer some
Time
questions.
for us to use that blade we just got.
What seems to be the trouble?
A witness claims to have seen you consorting with an enemy of the city.
What? Me? Consorting?
Preposterous.
When was the last time you saw or spoke with Ezio Auditore?
Who?
Non fare il finto tonto! We know you were close with the family. Perhaps this will help to clear your head.
Uh-oh.
Ready to talk? What about now? Tell me what I want to know and we can end this. Not you!
He was... Fuck off. Fuck off.
What seems to be the trouble?
A witness claims to have seen you
Can I skip this cutscene?
consorting with an
I
enemy of the
think he
city.
caught me just before I shivved him.
Consorting?
So the game started a
Preposterous.
failure because I was
When
detected.
was the last time you saw or spoke with Ezio Auditore?
Who?
Non fare il finto tonto!
I think that's what
We know
happened.
you were close with the family.
But whatever. It's fine.
Perhaps this will help to clear your head. Ready to talk?
It's fine.
What about now?
Grazie, Ezio.
Sorry about that.
I've grown accustomed to their abuses.
What of the body?
Bring it inside and put it with the others.
Others?
The city gives them to me for research.
Carry the corpse. You know, it gets a bunch of bodies for research. Literal bodies of research. When we finish this, we can talk about the hidden blade for a bit. But let's finish this real quick.
See? Like it never happened.
Thank you, Leonardo. For everything.
Anytime. And remember, if you find more of those strange pages, bring them to me. Should they contain new designs, I will upgrade your blade as well.
Of course. Now, I really should be getting back to Paola.
Porgile I miei omaggi.
So, two things about the Hidden Blade that are worth pointing out. One, obviously, as Leonardo kind of jokingly mocked, the original Hidden Blade required you to cut off your ring finger to use. That's why when Altair uses it, he clenches his fist. The blade would jump right where that finger is and hack it off if it wasn't already gone. So that's why when he has his blade, he's almost like punching his opponent with like a punching dagger. But Ezio, because his blade doesn't have that same design, he flares his hand outwards. If you look at the animations. His hand flicks outwards when he's casting Hidden Blade. It's not the same as also conveniently, the cape conceals the blade on top of the wristband, which is pretty clever. Design-wise, I just noticed that just now. But additionally, to be clear, I was just explaining that Xenochrist, Assassin's Creed 1's Hidden Blade. The idea is that it requires a commitment for the wielder, so they have to lose their ring finger. So when Altair's Hidden Blade, he does a punching motion because his finger is gone. The blade can just go through it, almost like he's punching the target with his fist, because the blade, where it would normally, if his finger was there, it'd be sliced off, but his finger is hacked, it's already been hacked off to use the blade at all. So he can comfortably, like, punch and get the blade out. Whereas Ezio does, like, a flick motion. Almost like Spider-Man flicking webs out of his wrist. And that was a design of Altair's. These codexes we're getting are from Altair. So, sometime after defeating Al-Mualim in the end of Assassin's Creed 1, Altair comes up with a new version of the Creed that still adheres to those core tenets, but doesn't require the commitment of losing your ring finger. And so he designs a new Hidden Blade that allows you to use it without cutting your finger off. And yeah, I also love the Spider-Man rock and roll gesture, with the webs. That's why it's the first one that came to mind.
I've only the highest quality.
But
Guaranteed. My prices
very
reflect
important,
the
like,
exquisite workmanship of my tradesmen.
thing to note is that, like, Leonardo da Vinci all he was doing was deciphering Altair's design. Altair is the one who develops that new version of Hidden Blade that doesn't require the ring finger to get cut off. And all future assassins have stuck to that new design over the centuries. As a part of adhering to his evolved version of the Creed.
What an outlandish hood. Damn a foreigner.
Can you tell I'm a fan of Assassin's Creed? or was at some. I guess I am. I was a Laps fan, and now I'm a fan. I'm just a fan again.
That's you are finished.
Yeah, it wasn't gonna last.
Which way? There. I've distilled an elixir of lead and pomegranate.
Who's that over there? Haven't I seen you before? A minute of your time, so I'm not saying you outrun me.
Fuck off. Rude.
My God, has his mind
People are
snapped?
rude. Alright, now we're on the roof. Easier to get away. Not a rooftop garden, but it'll do. Idiots.
Where do they cut them?
You were gone for quite a while.
Leonardo likes to talk.
That he does. But I trust he did more than talk. Impressive.
I'm rather fond of it myself.
I've given you the skills. Leonardo's given you the blade. All that remains is the deed.
Where can I find Uberto?
According to my girls, he'll be attending an unveiling tonight of Verrocchio's latest work. It will be held at the Santa Croce cloister.
Watch over my mother and sister while I'm away.
Of course, Ezio. As if they were my own.
This lady is the prostitute that taught us how to blend and steal. We have learned how to blend in with our environment here.
Uberto Alberti, trusted friend of the Auditore family. According to the history books, this guy was a saint. He prosecuted murderers, rapists, the worst criminals. One of the best lawyers in Italy, he won every case, in spite of the fact that he was self-taught. Now, I found a back door into the Templars' database server. I've been combing it for some kind of smoking gun. I found it. Apparently, Uberto's family was evicted by the Medici Bank. Uberto's been aching for revenge ever since. And the Templars promised him support. Ezio's father was standing in the way, and Uberto was jealous of his influence over the Florentine government. Two birds with one stone, isn't it? It looks like Uberto used his election to the Signoria as his opportunity to strike.
The meta plot is that Ezio, we kind of got this a bit in the first Assassin's Creed game, where
I'll get out of your way immediately.
the Animus, as you relive someone's memories through the Animus, you start to take on their skills and abilities as well. They call this the bleeding effect. Because the ancestor's memories bleed into your own. So the plot here is that Desmond's taking advantage of this bleeding effect by reliving Ezio's memories of learning how to be an assassin. And by going through his memories and reliving those events, he will become an assassin as good as Ezio was in the modern day. There are other reasons to explore Ezio's memories specifically, but we'll get into those later.
To speak of bounds, you who have crowned yourself Lorenzo di Medici, Principe of Firenze.
I've done no such thing.
Of course not. Ever innocent. How convenient. At least now we see how far your reach extends, which is to say, nowhere at all. It has proved a valuable lesson for me and my allies.
Yes. Your allies, the Pazzi. Is that what this is about?
Be careful with your words, Lorenzo. You might attract the wrong sort of attention.
Without being detected. So this is actually what we're talking about a little bit. One of the core gameplay loop of Assassin's Creed 1 is you would identify your target, you would do some investigation missions to learn about your target, and then when you finished your investigation sufficiently, you would then be allowed to do the deed and actually commit the assassination. For this new structure, rather than have you do investigation missions, the idea is that your investigation is done through the story, as a part of the story. Like for this first target, Uberto, our investigation is we saw him physically assassinate kill our family. And then we got the skills required to commit the assassination. That was our investigation. Instead of making it something we had to do as a part of like its own discrete section, the idea was to weave that concept into the story. So rather than having to do with the Uberto investigation missions, we learn about Uberto as a function of doing the story missions. That's kind of the idea that they settle on for Assassin's Creed 2. And every Assassin's Creed game that follows, because they use this as their core building block and core structure. Me personally, I enjoy the investigation missions in Assassin's Creed 1. I think they were janky. I think they were rough. But I think that was a good foundation to have built upon. And I wish they had. That said, it's hard to dispute the idea that this style of blending the investigation into the story itself and just having to do story missions to get to the next assassination, that's more palatable. That has more mass market appeal than the game that I want. And I am willing to admit that is true. Which is how we have arrived at what ended up becoming Ubisoft Open World. Remember, at the time this game was made, the concept of the bog standard Ubisoft Open World wasn't a thing yet. Open world gaming, in like the idea of towers you climb, bases you do, side missions, that was invented by this game. And it makes sense that climbing towers would be a mechanic in this game, because this game is all about parkour. Of course you do a lot of climbing towers. A major mechanic is free running.
Fresh caught leeches. Who requires bleeding?
It's so core to the franchise that they have the Assassin's Creed Set of Magic has an entire mechanic around free running. I'm not. Oh, same. I think the combat was like the biggest mistake in Mirror's Edge. So we're going to hire the courtesans. Take these guards away. So now we can infiltrate.
To you as well. I trust you're enjoying yourselves.
Indeed.
You!
And our target is now been defeated.
You would have done the same. To save the ones you love.
Yes, I would. And I have. The Auditori are not dead! I'm still here! Me!
Ezio Auditore!
All right. That's right. Away you go. Is it wise to pronounce himself like that? No, not at all. But that was the emotion talking, not the logic. Keep in mind that, like, Ezio, like, that man, like, more or less slaughtered his family line. So, of course, Ezio would be a little emotional about killing him. And so, like, hyped up by that emotion, he boasted loudly that no, Uberto failed. The Auditores are still very much alive. I am the sole survivor of the lineage, and I will announce that publicly to the world. It's actually pretty cool the way they handle this, because the first assassination you commit is largely one that is motivated by personal reasons. He has a vendetta against this man for killing his family line, and that is enough to, like, drive him over the edge to commit his first assassination. This is when he stops being a teenage boy and starts being a killer.
No need to be shy. Come forward. Mercy, good Lord. Please, spare me. I'm a good man. You've got the wrong man.
The tower I need to climb.
Kill all trespassers, Pazzo. What are you doing here?
Tower I gotta climb.
Running home to Mama! Hurry! Eccolo! Get him!
Eccolo! Get him!
But you! There! There! Get him! Did he get clear?
Climb this, idiots. There we go. That's where I gotta climb. And so Ezio has finished his first assassination mission by taking out the man who killed his family. Aside from his mother and sister, obviously. It's Florence. Women aren't family. It is shocking how recent women's rights are as a legal concept, because, like, throughout most of history, women were treated like fucking dog shit, and that was no less true in 15th century Italy. Lightning strike. 400 meters. What I like about the original Assassin's Creed is that scene in the beginning where you do the leap of faith and one of your assassin's brothers breaks his leg, which implies that the act of jumping into a hay bale is not something you can just do. It's a skill you have to learn. Although, I say that, and, like, even before he becomes an assassin and takes any formal training, Ezio is already doing parkour and doing leaps of faith. So, perhaps that is some wishful thinking on my part.
think it's best I leave Firenze.
Where will you go?
My uncle Mario owns a villa near Monteregioni.
You're still a wanted man, Ezio.
What would you have me do then?
I've seen posters all across the district. Tearing them down will help the city forget your face. No doubt the heralds also incite the public. Bribe them, and they'll speak of other things. Or you could hunt those who bear false witness against you. They traded dignity for coin. Their loss would not be mourned. Do any of these things, and you should be free to leave.
So this is teaching us about a new mechanic. If you look in the top left of my HUD,
I've added a program for tracking notoriety. This little meter will help you know how far you are between notorious and incognito.
you look at my HUD,
This will help you know if you should watch your actions. It'll also tell you if the notoriety level is part of Ezio's memory or not.
the fact that is Rebecca, who is one of our handlers in the Animus. No, you're thinking of Lucy. Rebecca's a black-haired lady. Rebecca and Sean are kind of our handlers for this. But to explain the new mechanic, originally in Assassin's Creed 1, your notoriety was like a... Yes, Lucy is Kristen Bell from Veronica Mars. That's correct. But if you look at the top left of my screen, you'll notice that the assassin symbol is in red. That means I am notorious. Notoriety is a function of the game's mechanics. When I commit crimes, I become notorious. I become more notorious until I reach 100%. And then once I reach 100%, the guards are on high alert for my presence. At the end of that story mission, because I did that in public in broad daylight, I am now notorious. So, before I can leave the city, I have to bring my notoriety down to 0, becoming incognito again. You saw me kill that official, and that reduced my notoriety by 75%. Taking out posters takes down by 25%. So now I'm incognito again. And that assassin symbol in the top left of my screen tracks my notoriety. So if I'm notorious, I will know it from the symbol on my top left. It's very simple.
Bentornato, Ezio.
And to kind of go on with that, in the first game, that was an invisible mechanic. Notoriety was tracked as a function of how far you were in the story. The more targets you killed in Assassin's Creed 1, in later missions, more guards would be present. The streets would be more patrolled. It was a mechanic in the game, but it was invisible because it was a function of story, not really a function of gameplay. Here is now a gameplay function.
Yes. Madre?
Ezio! Where have you been? They wouldn't let us leave. And Mother, oh, she hasn't spoken a single word since we left the house. Father will need to sort things out. Where is Father? And Federico? And Petruccio? Hmm?
Something's happened.
What do you mean? No, it's impossible.
Claudia,
No.
I did everything I could, Piccina. Listen, right now what matters is getting us all someplace safe. But to do that, I need you to stay focused. Do you understand? Good. Will you watch over Mother for me? Then we are ready. Thank you again for everything.
Stay safe, Ezio. Stay vigilant. I suspect the road ahead is yet long.
Alright, now we gotta leave. We're going out of Florence.
All right, this way.
We gotta escort our family out. Because we're incognito, it should be a little easier to move around.
Watchman, priest, or politician, twisted words and blind
Ah, the
ambition
minstrels.
meet their match.
Because the ladies from the first game were not annoying enough.
Justice is a lion.
As long as we stay incognito, everything should be fine. I do want to ship him, though.
When their corpses smell of offal, we will dance forever.
As you can see, stealing does become a high-profile action. So, or does boost our notoriety a bit. So, as long as it's not too high, it's fine. But if your notoriety gets high enough, you'll start wanting to reduce it a little bit.
Well, segue me.
You're at the gates. Oh, keep going. Cool. Just gotta blend in. Just gotta blending, and we're blending, we're blending. Though I can't say that anymore because technically we're not blending. We're just walking in low notoriety. Incognito, they would call it, as the mechanics would be named.
Campione approaches, so let us sing for a joy.
Calling.
Strikes down even a guardsman from hell.
All right, almost out.
Salud. Come sta, Jed?
Don't even think of it. Step away, Cafone.
They give you all these prostitutes for a reason.
Son, what say?
So instead of fighting them, you can use the prostitutes to distract the guards.
Stay close.
Now that we're out of the city proper,
Andiamo.
How could this have happened to us?
we can
Don't
move.
know.
Will we ever be back?
I don't know.
What mechanic is bizarre to you? The notoriety? Xenochrist, is that the one that's bizarre? And in what way? I'm curious.
What will happen to our house?
I don't know.
Were they given a proper burial?
Yes, they were.
Oh, the prostitutes are essentially they're a mobile blending spot. When you hire the prostitutes, the idea is that like they are a mobile spot, they are a mobile cover. They will follow you around and act as cover for you. And if the guards see them, you can have them distract the guards so that they will stop being your cover. But in exchange, the guards will not see you as you walk past them because they'll be focused on the girls. That's the idea behind the mechanic, is you can hire them to act as cover and distract the guards. Like you'll see, if you look back in the tapes with Roberto's assassination, I used the prostitutes to distract the guards in the entrance, so I could just walk into the palazzo without being seen. Just like I just did there, I used the prostitutes to get rid of that line of guards, so that instead I could just walk past them. It's a mechanic they use. It's a mechanic they use a lot in the Ezio trilogy.